man. Y'all, I am so excited for tonight's show. Y'all, come on in. We are back in another week. Let's go. I hope y'all have had an amazing week. Woo. Tonight's topic, tonight. Hello, Wiley G. Y'all, I'm so excited for tonight's topic. I know I be saying that all the time, like I'm always excited, but tonight's topic is something different. Like we we need this. This is something that is, listen, y'all just make sure y'all locked in, okay? As you already know, I'm your girl, Britt Danielle, and you are locked into another episode of the Ladies Lounge where we keep it real, raw, and just all the way live, okay? And listen, today is major, y'all. We got a boss in the building, CEO of a 100 Van Run, the one and only Mr. Wiley G pulled up to chop it up with your girl. So tonight we're talking about the legacy code. We're building wealth, we leaving your mark, and making sure that your name just ring bells for generations. So grab your notepad. This one is for y'all, and ladies, grab yours too, because you can take something away from tonight's topic that we're gonna have. So you already know what to do. Grab you a drink, get you a snack, and just vibe out with us, because this conversation right here tonight is one for the book. So none other, like, let's just go over some house rules. You know, we got to take care of that before we dive deep. So we ask that you just be respectful, ask questions, engage actively, because we need the participation. This is the discussion for all of us. And most importantly, have fun. Because that's what we do here in the Ladies Lounge. We finna have fun, we finna rock out. So, Mr. Wiley G, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who am I sitting among?
Who you sitting amongst? I guess I'm just a regular guy. I'm 44. I just had a birthday a few days ago. You know what I'm saying?
That's out.
I guess I'm unk. I'm a middle-aged guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm a father. I'm a dad first. You know, I've been a coach. I've been a friend. I've been a brother. I've been a nephew. I've existed. So I'm here and I'm present. So, you know.
Well, I'm excited to welcome you to the Ladies Lounge. Um, since you have graduated to that status, and happy belated birthday from the Ladies Lounge. Hope you enjoyed your birthday. But we're gonna start off, with the icebreaker, because I love these. So tonight we're talking about the legacy code. So if your legacy had a theme song, what would it be?
Oh man. Man, I wasn't ready for that question. A theme song?
Mm-hmm.
Man. What kind of theme song? Like any kind of theme song?
Any kind of theme song. This is your legacy.
Oh my goodness. Man, that's a good one. You got me with that one, man. I'm just gonna go with Everybody Wants to Rule the World.
Okay.
I'll go with that one, I guess.
Okay. I can dig it.
Yep, I guess I can go with that one. It's simple, but everybody do.
Okay.
So, yeah, so I just go with that one. Everybody Wants to Rule the World.
Okay. I could take it. And because tonight's show is special, I got another icebreaker for you. So this one is a little bit, this one's a little bit milder. Do you believe legacy is built through big moves or everyday choices?
Everyday choices.
Why?
One of the concepts is to make sure that each day you lay a brick. You're supposed to lay a brick every day. Or they say the best way to move a mountain is one stone at a time. So you just don't get up and just move the whole mountain. You do it in pieces. And life is the same way. Some of the things that we complain about, that we experience in real time, is a result of a decision of one of those days we should have made a different decision. So yeah, it's each day making daily decisions that have long-term, you know what I'm saying?
I like that. That was deep. Okay. All right. So let's get into it. The legacy code. So this conversation, it really started off air where you actually shared with me, you asked me like if I knew what legacy meant. So what is legacy? Like what does that mean to you?
Well, when you see somebody, when you see a kid in the street, right? Kid that you may know, kid that's a friend of your child. So when you see this kid, in your mind automatically before anything is said, usually what his parents do or how they behave or some type of whatever comes to mind about an individual child. And what does that mean when I look at this kid? Do I be like, dang? Or am I like, wow, he got some, you know what I'm saying? Some really upstanding parents, mom and dad. So, I mean, it means, what are you writing? What existed before you? What are you rewriting about it? And what are the lasting effects that it have? Legacy. It's the past, the present, and the future, all in one space.
I kind of agree with that. For me, when I hear the word legacy, it's more than just like money in the bank or your name on a building. When I hear legacy, often it's like a written lessons that's taught to us, like the values and the seeds that's planted for lives ahead. Um, and I know, like tonight, we're also going to touch on fatherhood. So part of the conversation is like our foundation of where those seeds was planted, and now here we are today. So diving into the fatherhood, intentional fatherhood, what I found out is like it's just exploring ways that fathers can be deliberate in their parenting, such as setting aside time for meaningful conversations, sharing personal experiences, and modeling desired behaviors. And I know that your dad was a part of your life. So talk to us a little bit about that seed that he planted. You.
I mean, there's a thing, as becoming older and having friends who didn't have. I know you asked me about my dad, but some of the things that I can say about having them is that I see how it affected other people who didn't have one, and it really didn't. I embraced it already, but just to hear some of the stories and to know that I actually had a dad, the involvement my dad always had, the encouragement that he always gave me, the position that he held in the community, at work. So just to see my dad was one of those guys, you know, as he got older, that would ride around in his truck with his arm out the window with the toothpick in the mouth. and bumping the horn and waving and giving people collard greens and corn. Like he was that man, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I admired as a kid, you know, to be a man like that, I guess, ride around and get tomatoes out all day. Like, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? So just to see him and the other guys that was his age, the things that they would do, you know, far as farming and growing stuff and working on things together, and just stuff that was like family man type of stuff, you know what I'm saying? So, but just to see that display, it really, I mean, that's what I looked up to, you know, my dad and the guys that he was around, which was just kind of like older guys, man. So, but yeah, it was a good experience.
And I could relate to that as well. Being a daddy's girl myself and having my dad in my life. So when you talk about just the legacy that he left, and when you think back, you know, like you smile and like you say, your dad he was that guy that had the hand hanging out the window and, you know, he giving out stuff. And that was something similar to like what my dad was in his community. Like he would bring family together. He was very family oriented. That's what he stood on. And so that's something that it just near and dear to my heart with having my dad, also my mom too, who was very family oriented. And so my dad wasn't the oldest and out of his siblings, but he was that go-to person. Like they knew that he could handle business. So people like trusted him. It
Yes.
was integrity, you know, and so growing up, I would be like, dang, why everybody always want to hang out with my daddy? Like, you know, my daddy was the cool uncle. He was the one that's gonna let us, when we was told no, he gonna say yes.
Right.
He was that guy. And so I admire that. So this topic is like very, very near and dear to my heart. So having your dad in your life and planting that seed, can you talk to us about your journey? Because you shared that you are also a father. So do you mind sharing your personal journey as a father?
Man. It's been a real journey. um, it's been a very interesting journey. It has been a worthwhile journey. Um, Understanding what legacy is built on. Your son are great successes of legacy. So, um, you know, I have 4 boys and a grandson, a grandson. So, you know, so that's why it's important to me to be a good example for them, in so many different ways, because for them, when it comes to things being passed down, it's always to the most responsible one, you know. So it's really been a journey teaching them all to um, be able to do the right thing when nobody is looking. That's been like my biggest thing that I always try to teach them. You have to be able to do the right thing when nobody's watching. When you think you're gonna get away with it, can you still come out of there and do the right thing? You know. So teaching that along with some other things that go on, you know, raising boys, but it's been a fun experience. I'm still in the middle of it, you know, surviving it. But yeah, man, it's fun, man, being a dad and being involved, definitely.
Now, you said you had 4 boys and a grandson.
Definitely.
So is it true, like this whole thing of men, you know, wanting, when we talk about the legacy, like they look to that son to carry the name and, you know, whatever else it is that the father leaves for him. You know, what if you had daughters? Like, is that the same? Do you hold her to that same level as you would a male child?
Well, unfortunately, I think this whole conversation of legacy and certain things like that, um, it's usually not a conversation that's had about legacy unless a man understands family brand. Like my dad never spoke to me about, you know, as much as I would like to think I know about legacy right now, he never spoke to me about legacy. So some of these new ideas and certain things that matter that we can have conversations and kind of put some structure to the thought of it. Legacy is just it's so many layers, if I can just say that. And if it's not one of those things that's kind of looked at to be said, okay, we're going to work on this, then it's kind of, because a lot of, I don't know, man, like I just see it like, come on, man, like people pass away, certain guy, like, what did you do? What did we leave? What did you leave behind that somebody can be proud of, that something you done or you left, or just you even existing? Like, what was they, when you, I don't know, man, it's the layers. So I'm sorry for just kind of thinking so deep into it, but
I think that's the beauty of it, though, when you talk about like the different layers, which actually segues into like the point when you talk about the key components of this legacy code. Definitely from what I gather from it, right? The key components will be character, financial wisdom, faith and values or values, emotional presence, community impact.
Yes.
So when you talk about all of those layers, like
it's layers, and you really have to be intentional about each one of the layers. Like, just like everything you named out, everybody heard it. But if you ask them to mention 4 of those things, and then furthermore to remember them and then be addressing them correctly in different tiers, like the attention needs to go to this particular thing on down the line, a lot of that can be missed. But to be aware that your actions are building legacy, your involvement is in building, like pretty much everything you do can be legacy building. It doesn't always have to be material gain, financial gain. Like, you can't really measure legacy in that capacity, because a lot of that stuff don't never make it to the end of the story. No way. That's just tangible things. The legacy are the non-tangible things.
right.
You know, it's non-tangible. So it ain't your stuff, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's not the stuff that you've acquired that you're gonna pass.
Right.
That's part of it. And yes, it benefits greatly, but the legacy are really non-tangible things.
And I want to take a moment to just, when you say the non-tangible, so I want to take a moment and talk about the word character, right? So character, to me, this is just my personal opinion, I do believe is the foundation of legacy. It determines how you will be remembered, and not just that you'll be remembered. So it's like I often say, after watching my dad transition, my thought process was, what do I want my footprints to look like? Like, what do I want people to be able to say about me? Obviously, like while I'm still here on earth, please give me my flowers. But also too, when I'm not here, like what does that look like for my son? And just my family is. So what is your take on the character? Is that word?
Character really, for me, for anybody, your character is basically how I see you treat people. What I can hear behind closed doors, how you talk about people, as your kid, as your nephew, as your comfort, like any space that I'm in, your character is really who I know you to be true, like who I know you to be truthfully. My dad was country. Like, we talking about like country, and I was raised in the country, so real humble, like, you know what I'm saying. So wasn't nothing flashy about my daddy. He was humble. You know what I'm saying? They used to pick at my daddy. They used to laugh at him, but he was humble. Like he wasn't tripping on none of that because it was other things more important to him. I guess, you know, this is just me talking to you right now. So,
Right.
But his character, what he was known for, was wasn't questionable at all. You know what I'm saying? Like you, if you know him, you like you know who that man is for real.
Right. Right.
That's Coach Martin. That's Coach Martin. That's Mr. Wiley that work at the VA. That he's a general foreman and he hires and fires people. And he has an incredible position to give people chances and opportunities through getting jobs and being resourceful in so many different spaces. But his character was not questionable amongst other men.
Mm-hmm.
Other reputable men. His character was
Right.
questionable in those spaces, and to see that, um, because men still trying to get stripes, but it's really about honor in the end. You know what I'm saying?
I like
Kids,
that.
kids trying to get their stripes, so they get in a little trouble and get a little scuff on their name, and they do little certain things to, you know, whatever that do for them. But it's really about being honorable. It's really about, I'm 44. I don't have a criminal record. Like I ain't never been to
Let's
jail.
talk about it.
I never, I
Let's
never,
know.
I don't have a criminal record. I'm middle of life with no history or nothing. And that to me is honorable as a black man. You know what I'm saying? Like I kind of hold
Right.
that high to the light. So,
Absolutely.
but character is everything, because when it's your turn, you want to be grace. You want grace, and you want people to be fair with you, and your character precedes you.
So what
Your
I hear
name.
you saying is character is also your reputation, which your reputation becomes memory. So your integrity, honesty, and how you treat others will echo louder than your titles or your accomplishments.
Mm-hmm.
So I love what you said because it's taking me back to like that little girl in me and being that my dad was a firefighter and he was also a part. He was the treasurer of the International Black Professional Firefighters Association. And
Right.
so when we would go to conferences and stuff, to see him walk in the room and to see like men handshaking each other and just talking highly of one another. At that point, your titles don't matter because it's what the impact that you had on your fellow brothers and sisters and in the community, that is what really matters the most. So often people rarely remember your resume, but they will never forget how you made them feel.
Correct. 100%. And the legacy and all of that is tied back to just, you know, who you are, what you stand for, what you represented, what side you decided to pick and stay on. Um, does everybody in your immediate family, are they repping the same brand? Are they wearing the same jersey? Like you're holding it together, and you're building something, and you're aware that you're doing it too. You're intentional about it.
So speaking on that word of building, because we building the legacy right now. So we
Mm-hmm.
know your character is your foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Within this building this legacy, right? How important is financial literacy in building a lasting legacy?
I wish I knew more about it so I could teach about it with mine. It's just one of those things that we not overexposed to, but I do think that is very important to a very high degree, that whatever you know about any type of whatever you think you know about, to still try to teach that. Um, and stretch their brain out, because things that you don't know exist, you can't really entertain it the right way. So I definitely think it's important. I think it's on us as the ones that are building to be active on learning stuff for ourselves, so we can pass that information down the right way. But it
Now,
is
a part
it
of,
is important.
and it is because a part of the financial literacy is breaking generational cycles.
Mm-hmm.
It's teaching financial responsibility.
Yes.
We're talking about wealth versus stewardship.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about planning, like wills, life insurance, investments,
Right.
just the whole mindset around money and not just the mechanics. Because again, we're building legacy.
Yes.
So, like, I think one of the things that when we talk about like the financial part of it. So when my dad was in the hospital and he was going through his transition, he had the most amazing nurse. And I really wish I remember her name.
Mm-hmm.
She came in there often and she would talk to us. And one thing I heard her say, because she was at the end of her journey of her career, and
Mm-hmm.
she was sharing with us that her family, um, they all bought this plot. And I believe it was Tallahassee, somewhere up north Florida, and they allow the elders, the seasoned saints of the family, to live on this property. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like they built houses, communities. Everybody puts money in this pot, and they pay for like the utilities, whatever the bills are, and things like that. So when we talk about just that planning stage of it, like I thought that was so dope because now when it's their time, the seasoned saints that's already there, when it's their time to expire, guess what? Now we got some place to go for the next generation. And then the next generation, like it's handed down, and then we, like, again, we formed our own community.
One thing that we have to be okay with is investing into something that we're not going to be allowed to benefit from.
Mm, okay.
My dad passed away in 2012, right?
Mhm.
I was telling one of my friends the other day, I said, bro, it's crazy that my dad still helped me out from the grave right now. It's stuff that he left behind that I've been able to manage to keep it as he would intend me, like he intended for me to do it, whatever. He left it with me. So it's crazy to see how my dad still helps me and he gone.
Wow.
That's crazy. So I know that I got the same ability and opportunity to do the same for the people I leave behind right now.
Because the
So,
seed was planted.
because I done seen it done.
Mm,
So it's hard to model something you don't get a chance to see. So
right.
I got a chance to see what legacy building looks like in the beginning stages.
Mm,
And it's kind of rough because me being who I am in my position, the burden of the torch being passed came to me. So now I'm preparing. So mine, I know how to carry the torch when it falls in their hands when I drop it.
right. Right.
Because the intention is for whatever I leave behind, y'all multiply that. And y'all kids, now y'all got that plus this to like. So in a few generations, if everybody keep the ball rolling, man, we got some stuff that we
Right.
acquired. And it started with that man that was 4 generations before you. And all this stuff has the
Mhm.
family brand, family legacy. Like
Let's talk about it.
the men who are responsible for building, we gotta build correctly. We got to be aware that we on a time clock. Moves got to be made.
No, fact.
And we can't be in the days doing it. You got to really be intentional. And it ain't about the stuff, but it is about, things that you acquire along the way that's going to be valuable to somebody that you had everything to do with.
I like what you said. We have to learn how to invest in stuff that we may not benefit from.
That's the ultimate sacrifice for that one thing that little. I mean, life insurance. I mean, it's so many ways that
it is.
Yeah, because time does a thing to time does something special to everything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So.
And you was about to touch on it, but you ain't let it leave your lips. But the life insurance is so important. Like we gotta have it.
It's a way.
Yeah.
Like you can set them up for real.
Yeah.
Legally. But you won't be here to enjoy it with them now.
Right.
It's a way.
That's true.
So I mean, and you can bite off all you can chew when it comes to that. So,
right.
And that's one way to really break a chain. You talking about breaking a chain, man? You can there you go right there. You just won't be here to enjoy it.
Mm.
You won't be.
That may be a little tough pill to swallow, because I think that's the conversation that we don't like to have. Some people shy away from it. Like, you don't want to have that conversation of when I'm not here. But it's a major impact on, and I'm understanding it now, losing my dad back in 2020, how much of an impact it is when you don't have your stuff in order. Because we're still going through some stuff because he didn't have his stuff in order. But what I learned from that. So now I bet you my stuff in order, so my son don't have to worry. You know what I'm saying? And with him being a minor, then you best believe my mama is in order to, take care of him while he's still in that minor stage. But like you said, it's just so much, like, we have to have that conversation, because our clock is ticking. That's something, death is inevitable. Like, we can't run away from it. So you have to, it's more of an impact when you're gone versus when you are here. Like, man, and just to deal with you can't even grieve this person because now you got to handle business that they ain't take care of. So I said that to say, y'all, please get your stuff in order. Like, for real, for real. I know we don't want to have this conversation, but it's imperative. Like, having an order, it helps. It helps you when it helps, the people that you leave behind.
The conversation is supposed to be a lifting conversation, right? So this is not to be overwhelmed with anything. It's just the conversation is really just to be mindful. Just like Mr. Brittany said, that we are on a clock, and it's people that we responsible for. We got people that we really responsible for.
Yeah.
And we responsible to make sure that when our work here is done, we leave in the best possible way. As far as our name, our character, the things that we acquire, that we leave behind, like all that stuff is very important. And we have to do this stuff so our kids will actually have seen an example of it being done, so they can admire it and want to model that.
Right. I think that's so important. And so, sticking to the essence of sticking on the high side of things, when you're building your legacy, how does your faith or personal values influence the decisions you make today?
I mean, in every possible way. I'm very optimistic.
You laugh when you said it, so I don't know.
I am. Man, I see the thing smoking and be thinking that it's running perfectly fine, knowing that it's gonna tear up, and I'll be like, it ain't gonna, man, that thing, man. So I don't know, man. I'm optimistic, but I always think the best. I try to speak to the high side of things. Being spiritually clean and understanding my triggers, my individual triggers is important. But definitely, being spiritual and managing where my heart is and showing my boys um, how to manage their feelings and all of their little friends that they're engaging. So, and how to do it from a wholesome place, not to try to maybe because you may be a little bit more privileged or something in certain spaces, you don't use that as any type of leverage to speak up or talk down to anybody. You just be a wholesome kid. You do the right thing. You keep your heart clear with people, and you listen to what your better judgment is telling you. Listen to your first mind.
So I love that you said that. Like pretty much you tapped into your emotional presence. If I'm understanding what you said correctly, you pass that down to your kids. So my question is the follow up: how do you stay emotionally connected with your children or loved ones when life gets demanding?
Wait. How do I get connected to who?
How do you stay? How do you stay emotionally connected with your children or loved ones when life gets demanding?
Wait, say that again. I'm sorry.
One more time for the people in the back.
For the people in the back, say it again.
Okay. How do you stay emotionally connected with your children or loved ones when life gets demanding?
How do I stay? It just you have to just always be mindful of the influence that you actually do have on people and showing up and being present when you show up. Being conscious of that and knowing that you have to spread yourself out evenly because every relationship with each is all different and one of them require something completely different. So you can't, everything ain't transferable across the board. So, just being aware that everybody needs something different.
I think that was a safe response.
Yep.
But, as we're building legacy as well, that in itself can be demanding. And sometimes, as men, you all can just be focus driven and have tunnel vision and don't see nothing around you. So I think it is important to tap in on that emotional presence to show up, not, for your children, because sometimes they are watching you, but they don't understand it because of the age that they are at. So I think tapping in, to that emotional side and showing up is so important as well. Another follow-up question. What's one moment that someone's emotional presence impacted your life? And how do you try to do the same for others?
Mm. Again, I can always say my dad, his emotional presence.
That's safe.
I mean, you asking some heavy questions, man, and it's like,
I
listen,
mean, we in the ladies' lounge. I mean,
heavy, but you like you. This is not passive questions you ask. This is the real heavy. You laid it
because
on.
we had to dive deep. We had to get in your business.
You laid it on real thick today. You know what I'm saying? So man, I had to watch you, man. yeah, when you say certain, yeah, you asking certain questions, it really do. This thing is just so important. Not to step away from what you're asking, but it's so important because this legacy that we're responsible for creating, um, I would like to rest knowing that I'm proud of who I was, especially to my kids.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to think who I was when I'm gone will create favor for them.
Mm-hmm. I
Um,
wish.
so yeah, just kind of spinning off of your question is just like it's so many layers to this
Yeah,
legacy building that we
it
responsible
is.
for. And all of that emotional showing up. The first heartbreaks with the girlfriends be rough, right? Hey,
Wait a minute. So you telling me the heartbreak with the girlfriend, that's part of the legacy?
man, that emotional support, man, telling the man, listen, my boy, we don't, man, I understand now. It's gonna sting a little bit. It's gonna sting now, but gotta keep your head up, baby. Hey, hey, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be rough now, I'm telling you. So, like you say, surviving them first breakups. Luckily my kids don't get in fights and stuff like that, so I don't have to be and
On
low
that
level.
level.
I don't have to be present in real time emotional support. Um, it's something serious because who else gonna be there?
Mm. Who else is gonna be there? That's that's kind of deep.
Yeah.
Now, when we talk about this building the legacy, I know that a part of this journey, there are mistakes that's made along the way. Um, how do you overcome that? Because, like you said it without saying it, but there's no manual to this. Like, there's a lot of stuff that we wish that we would have known. Like, I wish I would have sat with my dad and had certain conversations, beforehand. Or like now, I'm trying to learn stuff to now have these conversations with my son now while I have breath in my body.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm intrigued. Like
Mm-hmm.
I want to learn this stuff. So now
Mm-hmm.
that I'm learning it, I want to pass it down to him, and hopefully he pass it down to his kids and so on and so forth. But how with the mistakes, because we are human, and building this legacy, how do you overcome the mistakes that's made along the way?
When you say mistake, what do you mean?
Just going through life, like you may make some where somebody may do this investment and it may be the wrong investment. Now you may have cost. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true.
That's
Man, wait, what is we talking about? I got stories. I can tell you about that too. You know what I'm saying?
but because we're helping. The conversation is to help. We talk about the legacy, but also too, we're not trying to make it seem like it's a fairy tale either. Because doing this, you are going to go through mistakes. You're not going to know, right? I mean, I ain't made my will out yet, but when you go through these these things and journeys and obstacles, there are going to be some trying times. So, what would be your advice?
Shit. I, I mean, I say try to embrace the mistake as much as you can.
You sound like you done made quite a few because you like
Man, I am whew, I'm still figuring it out, man. I made some mistakes. Um, but luckily they wasn't enough to sink the ship type of mistakes. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm human. I got some human error things going on, but I guess the control that is try your best not to make any mistakes. One thing about destiny, man, destiny speaks very loud to us. We always can hear it calling. For us, you still talking to you. I'm saying,
I like that.
Our destiny pulls us, and we usually know what we're supposed to be doing because it's so loud. What you're supposed to be doing, that voice telling you what you need, what you should be doing, whether it be something to do with your health or whatever. Like whatever you need to be doing, your internal map thing is working and it do talk to you. So destiny
It's,
pulls at us in such a way.
and sometimes I think we got to take a moment to even know when she's speaking to us.
Mm-hmm. Oh, she talked to us every day.
Mm-hmm.
Man, people wake up every day with stuff they know they need to have them been did.
Had no what?
Yeah, that right there.
All that.
Man, people know they should have been took care of that. Like it's just gonna go away. It don't go away because you didn't take care of it. I used to think like that a long time ago, and I still work on that because I procrastinate too sometimes, but I do know how to finish. Man, that's the thing. If we don't do nothing today but take nothing away from this whole conversation, learn how to finish, man. Be a finisher.
Right.
Man, it's so many things that's why acquiring everything, because it's like having a bunch of shoes. All them shoes in there just waiting on you to give them some attention. They just waiting on you to wear them. So when you keep acquiring things, all this stuff needs attention from you at some point. It just really takes it take your mind away from where your energy need to be at. None of the you more worried about going through all these clothes and shoes and all the whatever you go through and go through that energy versus really narrowing it down and getting what's important done.
So now I do want to tap in a little bit because I mentioned about, when we did the introduction, CEO of the 100 Band Run. Hence, here we are. So first of all, what is a 100 Band
Run? 100 Band Run is an extension of my BurningFifty brand that I created. It's basically the clothing line extension of the BurningFifty brand. That's what 100 Band Run is.
Clothing line extension. Okay. So when you created the brand,
mm-hmm.
Is this a part of your legacy now that we're having this conversation?
It's funny that you asked that.
Have you ever thought about it?
Well, because this the thing, right? So BurningFifty, I created in 2010. Mm-hmm. At this point, I've touched thousands and 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 thousands of people with my brand. Thousands of people, like literally, probably some up in the millions, right? So, but in the process of that, yeah, I've been able to monetize some of that stuff, right? But in the process, my kids have got a chance to see me as their dad in a few different lights. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So the brand is definitely them being able to see me in a business light. Me, like they're getting a chance to see their dad
Right.
in the house. They see me in business. They get to see me in sports. They get to see me my personal life, like my friends that come around, like they, you know what I'm saying? So they get to see a lot of things. But part of 100 band run and other like all that stuff like that, I think it do kind of work out in my favor when it comes to certain layers of what legacy is. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. We just had to shout out the brand one time in the
Yeah,
lounge.
we see you repping tonight, man. You kind of caught me off guard. I wish I had known. I'd have went in there and found me a fresh one to throw on.
Come on now. You all, what they say, you gotta stay ready so you ain't gotta get ready.
You ain't got to get ready.
Right.
Yeah, I see you. Yep. So yeah, we got one of the 100. We got 100 band. This is the 100 band office right here. So everything in here
Oh,
just
he's sitting in the office. Oh.
yeah. We sit in the office and it's just 100 band run everything up in here. You know what I'm saying? Bags and shirts and jerseys and hoodies and caps, everything. So yeah.
And I think that is so important because I want the people to understand that this conversation is not just some fly by night conversation. Like it's people really out here doing the work, laying the foundation. Like you said, it's brick by brick. We sitting in, 100 band run office right now. Clearly there's apparel, there's we got the tangible stuff. However, it can be done. So hopefully that is encouraging to someone who is watching, like, who may want to start a clothing line, who may want to do a podcast, whatever it is that you want to do, to start your journey on building your legacy. Like it's not too late. As long as you have breath in your body, I always say we gotta have the conversations and you gotta build that legacy.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So in this space of like the message to men and fathers, with the question here, do you believe that presence is more powerful than perfection?
Yes. Presence. What I mean, because perfection is crazy work. Because you'll never get it right. You know what I'm saying? But presence is priceless for real. People
I
remember.
think, and I think it's important to show up when that presence is not just you showing up for. Of course, we talk about the legacy of like kids, but then there are some people out here who don't have kids, so it's just even showing up for yourself
Mm-hmm.
at that point, because people still gonna have something to say about you now, whether it's your own kids or just the people who you have impacted,
Yes.
and that's why it's just so important to set the tone and build the foundation now. Like now is the time. Y'all see it on the news. You know, people are not waking up. Like that is a thing. We've heard this all of our lives growing up. But I think now the older that we get, I don't know. For some reason now I just be like, it is like you said, to just be,
So true.
just like this boring thing over building apparel. Y'all done seen me in ladies' lounge. So we sit in the ladies' lounge, like add to it. That's what makes it so much fun. And I love that you said for my son to be able to see me in this light of like, wow, you doing your podcast and you're sticking through it. Because we
Mm-hmm.
coming up, look, we in May tomorrow, June coming up, we almost a year in the ladies' lounge.
Wow.
Like,
Hey
let's
man, we just gonna go ahead and just give it up right now, man. Your journey has been interesting to watch with the ladies lounge. So 1 year definitely gonna be a big celebration. So
yes, hope
we
prayerfully with
love
me.
the ladies lounge, man. We get a lot of good content from the ladies lounge and it's documented. We was there. And it's good stuff, man. Like you always have some real great conversations and super super good topics of discussion. at the Ladies Lounge, man. I'm a
And
fan.
some of these topics can help build your legacy because we already talked about investment. We had an episode where, Moshe the realtor was on there talking about building your credit, investing, buying homes. Like here we are talking about the foundation of legacy and building your journey and just all the other major conversations that we have had. So make sure y'all are subscribed to the Ladies Lounge on YouTube. And if you are watching this as rebroadcast, make sure you like and leave a comment because we would love to know that you are here. And before we wrap up, because y'all, this be coming to an end so quickly because these conversations be so juicy, but we never end it without just words of encouragement to everyone. So, Wiley, what advice would you give to someone who thinks they have to have it all figured out before making that impact?
Do the work while you're trying to figure it out. The impact of simply is just showing up and doing the work. I mean, you can figure it out while you're doing it. Do it and figure it out while you're doing it so you can learn in the process of doing it. Like don't overthink it. Repetition is the mother of skill. So do it till you get good at it, until you get around people who are knowledgeable in that space. Like just do it because it's gonna breed the energy that you need to get what you need out of the space. So
like this was so good. This was like a good conversation. Hopefully it is a conversation starter for households. Again, if you're watching this as rebroadcast, just something like the whole purpose of this conversation is just to plant that seed. If you haven't had the conversations, now is the time. If you've already started and ain't finished it because our work is not done until our time run out. However, but just like Wiley said, finish. That is the most important part, is to finish. Now, here in the Ladies Lounge, we don't gatekeep. So being that, I'll be your model here tonight for this 100-band run apparel, how can people connect with you? Because y'all, I'm going to just tell it like it is. He got book bags that is just like off the, I don't even know if people say off the chain, but I'm about to tell my age. But he had book bags that's so dope. We got the 100-band run apparel. Like, how can people connect with you if they want to support, share it with us?
Well, you can reach me. You can look at the apparel on Instagram on BurningFifty. That's the Instagram page. You can also check it out on Facebook at Wiley G Martin Wiley G. Or Google it, and it'll take it. Yeah.
Oh, not Google it.
Yeah, man, just Google that stuff, man. It's right there. Just Google it. And
Our legacy and building brick by brick. I wonder if I'm at a status you can Google me yet.
I think you there. I think that if you Google the Ladies Lounge, your picture definitely gonna pop up.
What? I'm gonna have to check that out after this episode. So I can get on that status when I grow up. But however, y'all heard it here in the Ladies Lounge. And before we wrap up, I want to leave you with this. What does your legacy look like if someone could read it right now? Not years from now, but today. What blueprint are you laying through your words, your actions, your presence? Legacy isn't something you leave behind. It's something you build in every moment. So ask yourself, what are you building? Who are you impacting? And what will people say you stood for?
You asking me?
No, I'm just leaving the people with it.
Oh, I say that was great, man. I don't know, man. Oh, okay. I'm sitting here like, man, yeah.
Man, listen.
Hey.
Listen, y'all, Just start shaping it now. You know, ask yourself those questions because your story does matter. And I have to say, Wiley D, it has been an honor having you here in the Ladies Lounge. This this is well overdue, but nonetheless, you know, you here, you showed up. I got them in the Ladies Lounge, y'all, and we just thank you for being here. This was an incredible conversation today with you, Wiley, just breaking down the legacy code, dropping gems on fatherhood, and also manhood and what it truly means to build something that lasts. So remember, y'all, legacy isn't just what you leave behind, it's what you live out every single day. It's how you show up, who you lift up, and the blueprint you leave for the next to rise up. So, you know, just keep that with you. And just, y'all already know, I'm your host, Britt Danielle. We in the Ladies Lounge with the one and only Wiley G. So until next time, just whether you're a father, a mentor, or just a man on a mission, remember your legacy starts now. So just keep believing in yourself. Never stop planting those seeds that grow. Until next time, y'all make sure y'all are subscribed to the Ladies Lounge on YouTube. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Make sure you like. Definitely leave a comment. Thank you to you all who are watching live. I appreciate you all being here. Again, y'all, we are coming up on the 1 year anniversary of the Ladies Lounge. So y'all stay tuned for just some major things that are going to happen. We are here every Wednesday at 7 p.m. on YouTube. You also can catch me in the social media streets. I am on Facebook under Britt Danielle. Ladies Lounge has an Instagram, and we are on TikTok under Ladies Lounge as well. And before we wrap up, this is an open invitation to anyone who would like to come in the Ladies Lounge and chop it up with your girl and have these meaningful conversations. Because like I always say, y'all, we got to have this conversation before the time runs out. So again, it starts now. Until then, y'all make sure y'all just be safe out there. I love y'all. Until next time.